All right. So, little quick agenda for today. We do have a lot going on today. It's going to be a full meeting. I'm so happy to have our speakers with us today. We have Brittany Parker, Program and Development Manager from the Good Health Clinic. And then we have a special guest joining us after her to give us a little more information. We have Molly Vlach, Manager of Infection Control at Mariners and Fishermen's Hospital. So we're very thrilled to have them today to find out what information they have for us about caring for our community. We also have 5 new members that we're going to be installing, 4 or 5. I think one of them is under the weather today, so she may not be able to join us. And we have a new board member that we're going to install who actually also happens to be our speaker today, Brittany Parker. I also want to acknowledge everyone who took the paid option for the luncheon today. As you know, we do not charge for our virtual meetings, but we have a voluntary tier of donations that you can make when you register. And we did have quite a few people take the paid option, and even a couple take the top tier $50 level. So thank you so much for that. All of that money goes into our adult scholarship program, which applications will be opening on March 1st. So there will be some announcements coming out on that soon. If you know anyone who is planning to apply, please tell them to do that as of March 1st. I want to remind you all also about the COVID relief fund that we have. If your renewal fees are coming up, if you're coming up for your membership renewal, I know it's been a tough year for a lot of people. If you, for any reason, would consider not renewing because of financial obligations or financial difficulties, we do not want to lose you. We have a COVID relief fund, as does the BPW Florida, the state. So please contact us if you need that, and we will work with you because we do not want to lose any of our members due to financial hardships because of the pandemic. I want to let you know about a couple of upcoming events. We do have a lot going on. I love how even in our virtual world, we managed to stay so busy. Tomorrow is the BPW Florida Technology Webinar. It's actually the first in a series of 4 that we're going to be doing on the last Thursday of every month. Again, this is coming from BPW Florida, from the state, out to all of the BPW local organizations in Florida. And tomorrow at noon will be your technology identification. So try to tune in for that. The information is on our website. Also tomorrow, the Keys to Peace are putting on their Reimagining Crisis Response in the Keys. That is from 2 to 4 tomorrow afternoon. That is a great initiative. You guys, I would really highly suggest that you get on that. And also coming up in February, we have something new that we're going to be doing as part of our professional development series. We have a Moms in Business workshop. We have a panel of 4 members who are working mothers, and they're going to give us some insights and some things that they've experienced and some advice for other working mothers. And then we have an evening event on February 17th. And in March, our virtual luncheon is going to be our speed networking. If you've done that with us in the past few years, it is a lot of fun. We will be adapting it to virtual, but I think we're still going to be able to have a lot of fun with it. You'll get to meet a lot of people. So please mark your calendars for that. All of the events can be found on our website and also on our Facebook page. So for everyone just now joining us, welcome to the first luncheon of January of 2021. And I do want to let everyone know that we are recording our meeting today. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and induct our new board member, Brittany Parker, who is also going to be our speaker today. Brittany has agreed to accept the responsibility of Board of Director for Upper Keys BPW and has agreed to take the Director's Pledge in front of you, the membership, today. Brittany, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, and then I'll put the pledge on the screen and you can read it afterwards.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Forgive the microwave background noise. So I am the Program Development Manager at the Good Health Clinic. I've been in the Keys for about 7 years now. I started off coming down here doing marine science, and just last year actually switched over into the medical field, I guess. I do a little bit of art on the side. I'm a captain and a dive master as well.
And then we're going to be hearing a lot more from you, Brittany, but we're so happy to have you. And she's a fairly new member, joined us last year, and then has agreed to step onto the board. So let me get the start. Can you see that okay? All right, Brittany, you want to go ahead?
Okay. I, Brittany Parker, recognizing the important responsibility I am undertaking in serving as a member of the Board of Directors under the Upper Keys Business and Professional Women, hereby pledge to carry out all the duties and obligations inherent in my role. I acknowledge that my primary role as a board member is to contribute to defining the Upper Keys BPW's mission and to govern the fulfillment of that mission, and to carry out the functions of the office of the board member as outlined in the bylaws. I will exercise the duties and responsibilities of the office with integrity and due care and work collaboratively with others.
Great. Thank you so much and welcome to the board. We are pleased to have
Thank
you.
you.
For anyone who doesn't know, we did have a vacancy come up on our board midterm. So Brittany did step in to fill that position. We will be having elections to elect our new board coming up in May for the 2021 to 2022 year. So be thinking about that. If anyone is interested in getting more involved with the Upper Keys BPW, our nominating committee will be getting busy here in the next month or so. So just shoot me a note and I will have someone contact you about the opportunities and possibilities. So again, thank you so much, Brittany. And now, here. And now we are going to induct some new members. So I am going to ask Wendy Kaufman, who is our Vice President of Membership, to install our new members who are present today. Wendy, you want to take it over?
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, wait.
You're just a little quiet, Wendy.
There you go. It's so good to see everybody's face. Oh gosh, I miss everybody so much. Okay, so I think Antonia, I don't think made it on. Is that correct? But we have everybody.
Antonia, are you here? I haven't seen her. Antonia was planning to be here, but she was feeling under the weather. She said it is not the virus. She wanted to let us know she is just not feeling well. So no, I don't think she's here, Wendy.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on with this. So, dear membership, it is with great pleasure that we welcome several new members to the Upper Keys Business and Professional Women. We have Emma, and forgive me if I say this incorrectly, Hadoshi, Michelle Pope, Patricia Million, and Jacqueline Rodriguez. And then Antonia, who unfortunately is under the weather, but hopefully we'll get to see her soon. You have joined the Upper Keys Business and Professional Women, the largest advocacy organization in the United States for working women. We welcome you and thank you for joining. Membership in our local organization can open the door to a more significant future. To many of us, it means expansion of our personal and professional network, individual development and leadership techniques, career enhancements, community involvement, and legislative activity. I want to ask now each new member to give a brief introduction to themselves. So we'll go ahead and start with Miss Emma. You can put her on the screen and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Emma Hadesy, so you are very close, but kudos for trying. I am the executive director of Florida Bay Forever, which is a not-for-profit dedicated to protecting, preserving, and improving Florida Bay here in Islamorada. I have been a Keys resident full-time for 2 years now. Previously, I was a seasonal ranger, still in Monroe County out of Flamingo in Everglades National Park, but made the full-time move 2 years ago and have made Florida Bay my cause since then. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I will also be sitting on the Public Policy Committee. So I'm just grateful to be here and look forward to connecting with all of you.
Awesome, great, thank you so much, Emma, welcome. Then we have Michelle Pope. Michelle.
Hello.
There you go. Michelle.
I am happy to be part of BPW. It's been on my list of things to do for a while, but finally just getting around to it. I am sales and marketing for Keys Life magazine. I've been with the magazine for about 4 years. I'm also a part-time Pilates instructor at Pilates in Paradise with Christy Allen. I've been a Keys resident for 22 years. I've raised my child here, who is now a Florida State Go Noles. And I am just happy to get connected with people. It's been a long year. And I definitely live the Keys life. That's my style.
Awesome. My speaker. Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle. Nice to see you. Okay. Then we have Miss Patricia.
Oh, there she is. We couldn't hear you for a minute.
I don't have any audio on my computer.
I think I heard you. And
Come on, come on, come on.
Patricia, we're not hearing you. I heard you for a minute and then you went away. You don't appear to be muted. The joys of technology, right?
We'll take a good big wave from Patricia. Oh.
Patricia has attended several of our coffee hours, so some of us have already gotten to meet her, but maybe we'll try to come back maybe if your audio comes in.
Oh, so sorry, Patricia. All right. And then we have Miss Jacqueline. There's Miss Jacqueline.
Uh-oh. I think Jacqueline lost audio too. I know we heard you earlier, Jacqueline. Jackie. Yeah.
Difficulties
Well,
today.
that's disappointing.
No. Well, do we want to?
The other time that has happened to me, I logged out and logged back in real quick. So maybe if Patricia and Jackie both wanted to try that real quick, if you still have the link handy. We are running a little ahead of time, so we can wait just a minute or two if you guys want to give that a shot.
Oh.
Wendy, help me look for them if you see them come back in. Sorry about this, guys. We've not had this issue before.
Yeah.
Hello.
There she is. I hear Jackie.
There's Jackie. Okay.
Hey, let me see if I can get this completely open to show everything. Everybody can hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Brief introduction. My name is Jackie Rodriguez. I am one of the owners of Greenscape Landscape Maintenance Corp. We actually are located just in the Redlands. You guys were the closest group that I can, join. I am very excited to join a group of professional women, and I think that anytime you get the chance to associate with powerful business women, it's always a good idea. So I'm very happy this is my first real group, women only like this, that I was excited to join, and I look forward to, participating with all the causes and everything that you guys do. Even though I joined around October or November, this is my first meeting. End of the year was just crazy. But I have been reading the newsletter and seeing what you guys participate in.
Well, welcome, Jackie. We're glad that you joined us.
Welcome.
Has Patricia made it back on?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let's see how this goes. So I live in Key Largo, but I work for a company up in Broward County for over 15 years now. And until last year, I was commuting a lot, but with the shutdowns, we are now fully remote. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to start to connect with local professional women. I was a little bit scattered before doing all the commuting and stuff, but now I have more time and I thought it would be fun to connect with the local professional women. So I'm excited to join the group.
Okay, great. My speaker on? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Wendy.
Okay, my little yellow thing is not coming on. Okay, thank you all so much. Sorry for the little technical difficulties, but we got you all and welcome so much. So we look forward to your participation in the Upper Keys Business and Professional Women. And we're going to go ahead and if we were together, you'd be reading this pledge. Reading it all together sometimes can cause a little issue with these little Zoom meetings. So I'm going to go ahead and read it, but this is definitely for our new members to go ahead and say to yourself. So I do solemnly pledge my allegiance to this local organization and do promise to be governed by the rules and regulations as set forth by the bylaws, to be faithful in attendance, trying always to be on time, to be loyal in service, willing to serve in the capacity whereby I do best promote the interest of this local organization, to be generous and not alone with my money, but of my praise, my time, and my talents, to be tolerant and friendly, knowing that friendliness gives and finds happiness and health, to be honest with myself, my fellow members, and my local organization. Does it go down further?
I think that's it.
Okay. So thank you all so much. We look forward to getting to know you all and being part of this amazing group of women and men. We do have some men on the team, so we don't want to leave them out. I think Roberto's the only one here today, but we got it's awesome. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Wendy, and welcome to our new members. We are so pleased to have you. As Wendy said, we do not discriminate against men, even though we are the business and professional women. We love to have men join our meetings. We also have male members. We currently have 3 male members. So men, you are Roberto, we would love to have you anytime you want to join us. I do want to say, as a point of pride, I think even in this year that we have not been able to meet in person since last January. Actually, we had our January luncheon and then we had a February evening event, and we have not been together in person since then. But we have continued to have new members come on almost every month. And this month to have 4 that we were actually able to install is just really warms my heart to know that we are still reaching people even in this virtual time. So again, thank you all, and thanks to all of you for joining us and supporting our virtual events. And now, Brittany, I think we're going to let you have the spotlight again. I am going to turn it over to Brittany Parker from the Good Health Clinic.
Share the screen here. All right. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, and everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us today and giving me the opportunity to speak. So again, my name is Brittany Parker. I am the Program and Development Manager at the Good Health Clinic. I do believe we have Kate on here today. She's our Executive Director. And today we're going to discuss a little bit about the Good Health Clinic's COVID journey, if you will, and the vaccines. So a little bit touching base on the vaccines. So a little bit about the Good Health Clinic. We opened our doors in 2004 and have remained the only charitable care clinic in Monroe County. We're known as a comprehensive care clinic, which means that we not only do primary care, but our patients will receive anything from wellness exams to birth control, diabetic care, to assisting patients with setting up surgeries and cancer treatments. So we do have 2 locations. Our main one is up here in Tavernier, where we're open every day, Monday through Friday. And we do have a clinic down in Marathon, which is only open on Tuesdays. We work with over 100 partners to make sure that our patients receive the care they need inside and outside of the clinic. So if they needed a surgery, we have referrals that we send them out to. And then we have just recently instated a mental health counselor at the clinic to address our patients' mental health needs. She came in end of last year and is still with us through this year as well. It's really great to have somebody to fulfill those needs, whereas before we didn't. So it's great to kind of get her in here. So in order to become a patient at the clinic, it is an application process. We do accept any patients that don't have health insurance. So anyone that does have any kind of insurances, we don't accept. But the patient must meet the gross income eligibility, which is up here on the screen. And so over here to the right. And then to get the application, you can get it online at thegoodhealthclinic.org, or you can stop in the office, say hey, and pick up an application there as well. We did take in quite a few patients last year due to unemployment because of COVID-19. So if you do know of anybody out there that doesn't have insurance, but, might have lost their job recently, or, they're still on the unemployment, please refer them to us. We would love to have them here. We're here to help. So again, make sure that information gets out there. All right, so when COVID hit us last year, we were pretty quick to adjust to the CDC guidelines. And as most of you guys probably know, the supplies were becoming pretty sparse globally. But what was great about us is that we were successful at getting PPE supplies using our avenues and partnerships, where many other clinics did struggle with that and even had to shut down. We did come a little close to potentially shutting down because it wasn't the PPE that we were having issues getting. It was things like toilet paper and paper towels. So we did reach out to our community, and within a couple hours, we had everything from toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizers, and cleaning products at our doorsteps. We had people dropping them off outside the doors. We even had some being mailed in from Ohio. So it's just kind of a beautiful example of how amazing our community is and how everyone just kind of came together and helped everyone during this difficult time. You'll see down here, we are wearing a few masks made by some local ladies, and a fun little video. These are Stream to See products. If you've ever heard of Stream to See, they mainly make sunscreen, but they stepped up and made these sanitizing hand sanitizer products, and we got a whole box full, which was great. So. All right, I'm still going. Oh, and one unknown donation of a hazmat suit. We have no idea where it came from. All we know is that it said Ford on the side, but had it tested out. So that was an interesting surprise we had one day. All right, and so just a quick numbers, just going over the numbers from COVID, as I'm sure some of you guys already know this, but this is just kind of putting it in a graph. This is for Monroe County. So as you can see, the cases are still pretty high. As much as we all want this to kind of be over with and done with, we're still getting many cases. Just this month, we're up at 1,002 cases. When I checked last week, we were down at 909. So again, this is still kind of like a really relevant virus still happening. And then as you'll notice, we have, when it started and closed, our first case was in March. And then again, this is all updated from what we have up until this month. You can track these numbers on the Monroe County Florida-Florida.gov site. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those numbers, that's a great site to go to. All right, and now moving on to the vaccines. So the vaccines were released in December after DeSantis approved the Florida phases, which we'll get to right after this. So there are stages and phases for these vaccines to be released, and each state is a little different. So we'll talk about Florida's phases. There are 2 current vaccines right now. There are rumors of more coming down the pipeline, so kind of keep an eye out for those. But these are the 2 that are listed, Pfizer and Moderna. Both of them were approved for emergency use by the FDA. So this usually an FDA to get a vaccine done, it can take up to months to years to get a vaccine out there. So this was released as an emergency vaccine, except it did have to pass all the tests to release it. So they had to show a significant high amount of, success with it, so effectiveness, before it was released. And so with this as well, they are going off less data than what most vaccines do. But again, you can see the effective rates on both of those for the testing of them. The symptoms are pretty similar to the flu vaccine. You'll experience pain where the shot was given, potential fever, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills or joint pain. Our clinic here received the Moderna, and I can speak from experience. The arm pain was probably the only thing I had, and maybe a little bit of fatigue. And no other symptoms came through for me. And just a few things about these things that no, you cannot get COVID from the vaccine. The way these vaccines were made is both of them were basically using the messenger RNA. So if you think back to biology with the little DNA strand, unzipping that DNA strand and using the one side, and then they basically add in a harmless protein. And so your immune system will recognize that protein doesn't belong there, and it'll start building an immune response for those antibodies. So again, no, you cannot get COVID-19 from the vaccine. But you still, again, everything afterward, once you get the vaccine, you still need to consider safe practices, wearing your mask, being socially distant, making sure you're still up to code with everything as well. It is a 2-part vaccine. So you get 1 dose, and then 3 weeks later, you get a 2nd dose. That's for both of them. There are no vaccines at this time that are going to be given for anyone under 16. We don't even know if it's in the works yet. So the information about that is very unknown. But they wanted to get the vaccine out for individuals that were most affected, which would be 65 and older. And of course, anyone working in the healthcare and around many people. Okay. And then you can you can follow vaccines on the CDC, and I'll show you a few other websites you can kind of track for vaccines. But the phases, so again, these are the phases I was talking about. This is what they predict will happen this year. As you can see, there's asterisks. The timing is, flexible. As I'm sure some of you are reading that it is getting difficult to even get the vaccines in. 2nd shipments are being delayed. It's taking a long time. So the idea is hopefully by April that the vaccine will be available for the general public. Again, that's if they get them in. Okay, so a few resources to help you look for getting your vaccines. It was announced publicly and on Facebook and social media that Publix was going to be doing vaccines today, I believe starting at 6 a.m. You were able to get them in. And then I believe the next one is, I think I had that down as Friday. So publix.com/COVID vaccine. I will let you know that these things fill up very quick within minutes. So you kind of want to have multiple monitors open. If you want to get the vaccine, you'll have everything going. That happened with Baptist Health when they had that up. I think it was like 13 minutes. They said that it filled up, and they haven't reopened that website. But these are all good websites to monitor just in case, we get supplies back in. So you've got the Florida Department of Health, Monroe County, Baptist Health, Monroe County, Florida. And the Facebook pages are really great about releasing press releases as well. So that's where we saw the Publix press release. So make sure you have those. And kind of a bigger take home, please continue to test. A lot of people almost, now that vaccines are out, they're forgetting that you can still get tested. You can still keep doing that. So these are some more resources as well, where there are testing curative, which is great. They were only supposed to be down here for a week, and now they're up, they're running. They've been here every day. So we have one in the Upper Keys and Lower Keys. The Upper Keys is at Founders Park. The Lower Keys is down on Stock Island. Some select Walgreens and CVS are also doing the testing. The Department of Health buildings, CHI, and you're always welcome to talk to your primary provider about tests. I do know that curative is no cost testing. I don't know, off the top of my head, which providers and how much they cost to get them done at your primary care. And if you're interested in looking at antibodies to see if you had them either in the past or in future, or not future, but if you had any antibodies present, the blood bus is always great. If you want to donate blood and get your antibodies checked, that's also another option. And then again, yeah, go ahead and follow this website down here, the monroe.floridahealth.gov. They have a huge list on there. There's a couple more offices that are on there. We are on there as well, but at this time we are only testing our patients. We did have a short time that we were able to test the community, thanks to the Department of Health for that. But as of now, we are back to only being able to test for our patients. So again, if you know anybody that would qualify to be a patient, please send them our way. It's free testing here. Anything that happens in the clinic is no cost to them as well. All right, so I think that wraps us up. I just wanted to give you guys a thank you. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we do have it in the books right now that we do have our annual luau fundraiser scheduled for Friday, October 1st. So fingers are crossed that hopefully we can all get together and finally see each other's faces in person and have like a really beautiful time. We do have a new website that we're all very excited about. So please, take the time to check it out. It's thegoodhealthclinic.org. Follow our Facebook page for updates. We'll be updating them as often as we can with any updates for vaccines for us or anything that we can give to the general public. We like to make sure we spread the word just as much as anybody else. And then, yes, so I think we're waiting for questions at the end, but I just want to say thank you again. I appreciate the time.
Great. Thank you, Brittany. Some great information. I'm sure there's going to be questions, but I was thinking if everyone is okay with that, we will hold our questions until we've heard from all of our speakers, and then we can ask them all our questions at once. So I believe we have Molly Vlach from Mariners and Fishermen's Hospital. Molly?
Hey, good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. My speakers are working. Right on. So, Brittany, great PowerPoint. You gave them a lot of resources. So I crossed off my list so I don't duplicate. Being here at the hospital, it's been a very stressful year for everybody. In the beginning, everything was changing. The health department was changing. The CDC was changing guidelines. I can tell you, Brittany did give you the January 1,002 new cases. I broke it down for Monroe County. We have Key Largo's had 746 of the cases. Tavernier's next with 350 positive cases, and Alamorada's had 156. The majority of the cases are in Key West, but since we are the Upper Keys businesswomen, I thought you would be more interested in knowing what's around us right now. Let me know if am I talking too fast? We're good? So symptoms of COVID, they're very similar to the flu, fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, body aches, headache, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. If you have these symptoms, you are more than welcome to come to the emergency room and let them know that you are ill. They will, as an emergency room patient, if you are having symptoms, we will test you for COVID. Okay, if it's not something, your oxygen saturation, you're not having any distress, we'll send it out and get results back in 2-3 days. If it's something where your oxygen saturation is very low, means you're having trouble breathing, you're short of breath, we will do a rapid test if you get admitted to the hospital, because that way we'll know placement. In the hospital, we have negative pressure rooms. that we have converted regular rooms to negative pressure to take care of our COVID positive patients. There's no reason to run to the ER unless you're really having trouble breathing, but there is a treatment that can be given. I'll give you an example. My girlfriend wasn't feeling well at the beginning of the year, and I had her come to the ER when she lost her taste and smell. She didn't look good either. She was COVID positive. She got, as an ER patient, she went up to ICU and was given a bamlanivimab. It's a very crazy word. It was an IV medication that helps your body fight the symptoms of COVID. So, but it's only for outpatient. She couldn't get admitted to the hospital and get this. It's that medicine that they gave to President Trump when he went into the hospital, and he was out in like 3 days. So it was amazing. So she did get that medication. We have it here at Mariners, and she was able to come home. I picked her up like 5 hours later, and she came home, and the next day she looked much better, and she thanked me for taking her to the ER. I thought she was going to be mad at me, but that is something that can happen as an outpatient. So I tell you to wait, stay home, isolate, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid crowds. But if you start to get sick, come to the ER and get tested. If you have the symptoms, you're having troubles, because we have this medication. It's an hour infusion, and they monitor you for an hour. But it will help you stop the progression of COVID, and it helps prevent you from getting admitted to the hospital, more serious conditions, okay? Because we've had people currently today, I have 5 inpatient COVID positive patients that have all had COVID for 14 plus days. They're having trouble because they need oxygen. So if you are sick, you're supposed to isolate and monitor your symptoms. I took all this data off the CDC website this morning. Take Tylenol or ibuprofen, drink lots of fluid, get rest, isolate from the rest of your family, stay in contact with your doctor. Let your doctor know what's going on. If you're caring for someone who's sick, you need to provide the over-the-counter fever-reducing meds, provide fluids, go grocery shopping, take care of the animals so they don't have to do it, and make sure their doctor's phone number's handy. When my girlfriend got COVID, then after she came home after her BAM-LAM treatment, we isolated. She had her room, I had my room. We didn't eat together at the same table. We wore masks while we were in the house together. We pretty much isolated from each other. I didn't get sick, but I had had the first dose of the vaccine that Brittany had talked about 10 days before she got ill. And I'm thinking that might have saved me. I don't know, but I did. I got the Moderna vaccine. So right now it's healthcare providers, people over the age of 65, or people under the age of 65 that have immunocompromising history. They're diabetics, they're COPD, CHF, things of that sort. They will give you qualify for the vaccine, but it's very hard to get an appointment for the vaccine. Thank you, Brittany, for putting those websites out. I know Publix had gotten 250 doses, and they had filled up within like 10 minutes. They opened the web page at 6 a.m. in the morning. By 6:10, they were done. So you have to be on the ball. You have to be patient. Meanwhile, wearing your mask, avoiding crowds, and social distancing will help save you prior to you getting this vaccine. Hopefully, we'll get more as the companies make it. So I talked about how to isolate, what to do to care for someone, when to seek emergency care if you're having trouble breathing, persistent pain or chest pressure, new confusion, inability to wake or stay awake, bluish lips or face, you definitely need to call 911 and come to our local ED. Let them know when you come in that you think you may have COVID-19. That way, my staff will take all the precautions to prevent them from getting what you might have. You'll be asked to wear a mask, your temperature will be taken, and you'll put right into a room right away. We don't leave you in the waiting room if you think you have COVID, because we don't want to take a chance of infecting anybody else. Actually, here at the hospital, we're not allowing visitors to COVID patients. If you're here for a different reason and you're COVID negative, we will allow you to have one visitor 9 in the morning to 9 at night, and that's it. No, don't bring the family to the hospital. You can't. When my girlfriend was sick, I couldn't stay. I went home. I said, call me when she's ready to be picked up, because there was no reason for me to sit out in my car for 5 hours. They said, go to your office and work. I went, on a Saturday? No way. I'm not going to sit here for 5 hours. So I talked about seek emergency care when you're having trouble breathing, right? Let them know ahead of time. You can be around if you have COVID, had it. You can be the health department. I alert the health department on every positive COVID-19 case. Monroe County, if you're a Monroe County resident, you will be counted in the Monroe County stats. Now, if we have snowbirds that are here, I still alert the health department, but the stats go to where their address is, depending on where they're from. Okay, so if you can be around other people, you will be released. I was getting a text message every day from the Department of Health asking if I had symptoms of COVID. I either texted yes or no. I texted no. They said thanked me and they would contact me the next day. They did this for 10 days. So you're safe to be around others 10 days since your symptoms first began, and 24 hours without a fever, without taking Tylenol or something to reduce the fever. Okay, and other symptoms, you might still have a little cough, but they're improving. They're better than they were. So if you're severely ill or immunocompromised, they'll tell you to wait 20 days before you're allowed, should be around other people. If you've been around a person that tested positive for COVID, like my girlfriend did, you're supposed to isolate, stay at home for 14 days if you think you were exposed, and check with the local Department of Health website for more information. I didn't have to. I had to call into my employee health nurse and let her know that my girlfriend tested positive and I may have been exposed. But we have a program called Virgin Pulse that we enter the data in every day. All the employees do. And they give you either a green check or a red X. If you got the red X, you have to call employee health to see it, to get permission. Brittany talked about the vaccines. You cannot get COVID from getting the vaccine. And we have the Good Health Clinic, which is a wonderful resource, but we also have Baptist Health Care on Demand. It's an app that you put on your phone and you register. I have it and I put it on my phone and register. And so it's hard to get into your doctors when you don't feel well. It might be 3 weeks down the road before you can get an appointment. But with the Baptist Health Care on Demand app that you're registered on, you can go on that and it's telehealth. You'll have immediate communication with an ARNP or a doctor that you can talk to from the comfort of your home without going anywhere for any reason. It doesn't have to be COVID. It could be anything. And that's the one thing, if there's anything good about this terrible virus, is the fact that we are using more telehealth and communications like this right here, having meetings and not infecting each other. So I don't know what else I could talk about. I'm sorry I didn't make a PowerPoint like Brittany did for the Good Health Clinic, but I'm a chatter, so I like to talk. Anyway, thank you for your time, and God bless you. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
Thank you so much, Molly. Thank you both, Molly and Brittany. That was some great information. You both did a great job. I know I've got a couple of questions, but I'm going to open it up. Does anyone want to come off mute and ask a question of either Brittany or Molly?
Have one.
Go ahead.
How long do the antibodies stay in your system? Are they there forever if you had it?
They don't know. Okay, they're doing research now. They tell you when you get the vaccine, you got your first dose. I did December 23rd. I got my second dose because I got Moderna, which is 4 weeks apart. Pfizer's 3 weeks, Moderna's 4 weeks. I got my second dose last week, a week ago yesterday. So and they tell you they won't guarantee you're 95% immunized until 2 weeks after the vaccine, the second vaccine, because it takes time for your body to build the antibodies against the COVID. It's like the flu vaccine. The day you get the flu vaccine, you're not immune against flu. You have 2 weeks for your body to build that immunity up. Same with the COVID vaccines. Because this is a relatively new vaccine, we don't know, nobody knows how long the vaccines are good for in your body. And they're doing research still right now to figure it out. Because you haven't, if you got COVID-19, you have a natural immunity they tell you don't get vaccinated for 90 days. You have a natural immunity at this time because you just had COVID. You have to wait 90 days. They also tell you when you're going to get your COVID vaccine, you don't mix with other vaccines. So if you got the shingles vaccine 3 days ago, you won't get the COVID on top of it. If you got the flu vaccine 3 days ago, you won't get the COVID on top of it. They don't want you to have this different vaccines at the same time. They want to separate them. Brittany, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's great. Yeah, you covered it.
I was wondering, Brittany, have you had your second shot? I know that your staff got your first shots, right?
Yes, we are supposed to be getting them next week. So just either waiting for the phone call or a little bit of me harassing. So one of those two is going to happen.
And I have a question kind of based on what Wendy asked about the antibodies. From what I'm hearing, even after you get vaccinated, your immunity is good, right? But they still don't know if you could still possibly pass it. Is that true?
Is that for me?
I
have not heard that, unless you get one of the variant out there that's not covered by the vaccine. But even with the vaccines are like wearing a seatbelt when you get into a car. It's going to help protect you, but you still need to wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, don't avoid crowds. I know it's crazy. We all want to get together for Christmas or for Easter or whatever. 4th of July is coming up. Don't do it. It's not worth it. If you don't know the people, they're not your family members, you shouldn't be gathered together. You just shouldn't. But again, if you get the way this virus is evolving, you can see the news, they're already finding variants to it. Now, as far as I can know, the vaccines are still effective to this point. It's like the flu vaccine. Every year it changes. It's based on last year's types of flu that were predominant. And that's what they make the vaccine for. What's amazing so far this year, there has been very little flu at all. COVID is taken over. Flu doesn't even raise its ugly head. And I look for it every week. I'm looking for how many people came in the ER with symptoms that weren't COVID, that were flu, because I report to the CDC. ILINET is what it's called, influenza-like illness data that I report every week to the CDC, and there hasn't been any. And what I was reading the other day, it might be hard to make next year's vaccine based on, because we don't know, we don't have a predominant strain going around, because all we're doing is getting killed with COVID, you know?
Do
Did
you
that
think the
answer your
reduced
question?
Do you think the reduced flu numbers are because of the extra precautions people are taking, the masks and the social
Very much
distancing?
so. Very much so. The mask, the social distancing, the washing your hands. Oh, yes, it's all correlated. And even when we get the vaccine going, I don't see masks going away.
I see Brittany
It's
shaking her head on that too.
I just, it's part of life now. You see all the designers coming out with their own masks. So get your outfits together.
Right.
We're going to be in masks for a while then.
Susie,
And I know now there's new guidelines coming out about even the masks themselves. They're saying to get the N95s or double masks.
No.
And, oh, so go ahead.
Brittany, you want to answer that one?
Oh, I was just gonna kind of blanket on that. I know with flying, they don't like any of the masks with like the little ventilators on it. They won't let you wear those. You have to have full coverage of it.
Well, you know, this virus is a droplet precautions, just like flu. So droplet in contact, which means, and when I say droplet, when you cough, it's heavy enough that it drops to the floor 3 to 6 foot range. Okay, that's what droplet means. So that's why you don't want to be 6 feet in people. You want to be further than 6 feet, because that's the droplet without a mask on. Anyway, the thing with the COVID-19 is a droplet. And I forgot what the question was. I was going to go there. What was the question?
About the specific types of masks or even the double
that's
masks,
right.
which I've been
So
hearing people
the
talk about.
reason why Brittany said the mask with the holes in them, because you're blowing out still. So nobody's really protected around you. And that's why the airplanes won't let you fly with masks with the holes. Now the N95, unless you're properly fitted, as we are here at the hospital, you may have a false sense of security. The best masks so far are the ones that you get. When you come to the hospital, you get a new mask. The bandanas, they have mask rating now, and the bandanas are the worst. They don't protect you anything you can go through. These little blue, or they could be yellow. These are a particulate mask, which are heavily rated to stop the breathing out of your air, which is how you get it. So if I'm wearing one, it needs to cover my nose and my mouth. You'd be surprised how many people I see in the grocery store that have their mouth covered, but not their nose. So if they, they're still breathing out through that nose, which means potentially you could get infected from them. So it's wearing a mask, but wearing it the right way, covering the nose and the mask, and your mouth works as well. But if you double, there was a article, who was it? And they came out, emergency preparedness came out that it was a big no-no to wear 2 masks at a time. Double masks, things like that. It's unnecessary, and it could cause harm to the wearer. Because we had doctors wearing N95s and then they were covering them over with this one. It was like, no, don't do that. But they thought they were doing a good thing, and they were protecting themselves, but they weren't doing anything. Actually, they may have harmed themselves in the long run, but you don't double up masks, just wear the proper one. And bandanas up over it is not going to do it. Your nose not being covered isn't going to do it. I know masks, I do have a cloth mask that I wear when I'm in the gym, and I wash it and stuff, but Because when you're in the gym, you're sweating. So these little fall apart if they get wet. But no, that's about it with masks. I know I see everybody selling them. They're in the hardware store, you know?
Did anyone else have a question? Meredith, did you have a question?
No. Oh.
So I was wondering, the reason I had asked
Sorry,
about
I'm in the car.
oh, that's okay.
Sorry.
So Molly, the reason I was asking you,
going through fast food with my mask. I was getting the newspaper with my mask. But I don't know, I missed a lot going. But I did want to comment about the Publix. Did anybody make a comment on that? The Publix hotline?
just that it's filling up very quickly.
Okay, it's not even that. I tried twice. A friend of mine, I had to work this morning, so couldn't do it, couldn't get up that early. But everybody, there are like one out of whatever that gets through. But my friends went on with 3 different, cell phone, tablet, computer, whatever. It doesn't matter. I went on before I went to bed last time. And it's just, I know we're hopeful, but it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work, the Publix line. I'm sorry to say it, but I'll be the bearer of bad news. You got to be incredibly lucky. And I heard a late night comedian say, or somebody say, you got to be as lucky as winning that Powerball. So good luck, everyone. Okay, that's it. I'm muting myself. Goodbye.
I think from my experience, what I have seen is persistence is what it's going to take. I know for me personally, my father is 82 and he's up in North Georgia. And I was able to get the number for the health department in his county. And he and I both called for about 3 days, just constantly, just calling, getting the message, hanging up, calling back. And we finally got through, and he has an appointment this afternoon. So it is possible. Again, that's in North Georgia, not down here, but I think and that's what they told him at the health department is just keep calling until you get through. So that was one of the questions.
As a businesswoman, what if I hire somebody to wait for me? I'll give you a cent a minute. Could add up.
I think one of the experts will have to take that one.
Okay. I need a personal waiter.
Brittany, did you have something on that?
No, it's cute.
I see that Michelle Parker had a question. I saw her raising her hand down there. So Michelle.
I'm in the corner.
Go ahead.
I'm actually zooming in from another state. And so what I wanted to get a comment about from your people there is a term going around, vaccine tourism. Now I know that there was a loophole that people were using when the governor came out with his guidelines for getting the vaccine. I actually know somebody that was planning to go down to Florida to get a vaccine, but I think they've closed the loophole since then, if I'm reading things correctly, and if either of the experts want to comment on that. I'm sure Brittany really doesn't see too many of the tourists trying to get vaccinated where she is, but I'm sure you all know about that event that's happening down there in Florida.
Hi, Mom.
I have information on that if you want me to share with the vaccine tourism. So they originally weren't requiring any sort of ID in Florida, or anywhere. It wasn't part of it. But now you're required in Florida to show you're a resident. I know there's a lot of concern in Monroe County as well about the people coming down and taking our limited stock in Monroe County. But there's a lot of debate because they're Florida vaccines. They're distributed to county, but they're all our Florida vaccines. So there's nothing legally preventing somebody from coming into another county and getting vaccines. We have people leaving our county as well to getting vaccines. And there's even some debate on a national level about the vaccines, that these are national level programs that you should be able to go get them wherever you want. So I think independently, the organizations are trying to handle it the best way they can, but there's no legal ground to withhold vaccines from an American citizen at this point. But right now for Florida, Florida is requiring proof of residency, but it can be a little bit, it doesn't have to be like an ID necessarily. It can be like bills to show you have ownership down here and some kind of stake in the game or paying taxes. And after that, the distributors can't stop from giving you the vaccines.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. There has been a lot of talk, especially down here in the Keys, about people coming in and taking our vaccines. So that's good information. But at the same time, I do know a lot of people who are going to Miami to get theirs.
Yeah,
so.
right. They come, they get our gas after the hurricane. You know, we don't like when people come and get our stuff, but we like to go shop up in Miami. So I don't know.
I do see in the chat, someone had asked, Molly, they were questioning again about the masks. You were saying the blue paper ones like you're showing are the good ones. They're
the good masks. I did comment that I found that when I go to the gym and sweat, they get very wet but they're the good masks to wear. Now, somebody had talked about in the beginning at another hospital, people were told, and in the very beginning, when we were limited on PPE means personal protective equipment. Masks are a type of PPE. We were in short supply in the beginning because everything was like, woo, and it just hit. So we were having trouble, and they were told to wear the blue mask over the N95 in the beginning because that way they could use the same N95 for the entire shift. You have to realize now we have plenty of supplies. That is not necessary, and the N95s is not required. You have to be properly fitted for an N95. If you're just going and buying them at someplace, how do you know you're properly fitted? You know, do you blow out? Can you feel air escaping around your cheeks, around your nose, into your eyes? You're not fitted. All right. These masks here being these blue ones, I'm sorry, I forget you can't see them. These don't need to be fitted. You put them, you tuck them, and the metal part goes around your nose, you tuck it tight, and they're the best ones to have. These, or they're yellow as well. You know what? You got to do what you got to do. Wearing masks, washing your hands, social distancing, staying out of crowds is really your best bet to prevent you from getting COVID-19. Like I said, the vaccine will help in the long run, but right now there are qualifications. You need to be a healthcare provider or over the age of 65. And I did notice where you're going to have to start bringing your IDs or proof of residency. So we have a lot of snowbirds that live here 5 months out of the year in Monroe County. If they have an electric bill, they will get the COVID vaccine. If they're 70 years old, they will get the COVID vaccine. And that's good. The more people that have it, the better protected we are. It's called herd immunity. So I don't have a problem with, like Kate said, people are going up to Miami to get the vaccine. People are coming down here. The more they have the vaccine, the safer I feel. I'm not going to be territorial about something that's, this is a pandemic. It's not going away. Everybody needs to just chill and do your best to get on. There is a phone number to the health department, and do your best. I know nobody wants to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get a vaccine and, to make an appointment to get a vaccine. But then again, other ones that are really worried will do that. Call the health department. The health department should be able to get you on a list, because somewhere along the line, there'll be more vaccines coming. Mariners Hospital partnered with the Department of Health. So we were running a little clinic here. It was actually getting kind of hectic, but everybody was coming from that had made appointments with the Department of Health. And we were giving the vaccine here. Now we've had to stop because we don't have the vaccine. We have enough to give the second round to all the people that were here for the first 3 weeks of vaccine, you know, but they're going to be working it and getting more out there somewhere along the line. We just need the supplies. Did I answer your questions in the chat rooms? May I show my mask to get your advice? Sure, Jennifer, show me your mask.
Jen, come off mute and say something. I have it on speaker view, so we'll see if you speak.
It's just cloth, but it's not the bandana. But I think I just want to make sure it's sufficient, because now with the good masks, not good masks, I wanted to make sure that mine seems sufficient. I mean, I haven't gotten sick. I haven't had any symptoms, so.
That seems pretty well that it's covering your face and nose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Getting professional advice. I appreciate it.
I know I'm personally wearing, we do a lot of the cotton, just the plain cotton ones, but they are the 3 layers. So they seem to be pretty thick.
Yeah, the more layers you have in there, the better. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. I was just saying, you can go online and look at how they've rated masks. And that's the best advice I can give to you if you have any questions. I didn't pull that PowerPoint up.
I like Teresa's advanced advice.
Try to blow out a candle with your mask on.
If it moves, it's not right.
All right. Well, are there any other questions while we have our experts on? Well, thank you so much, Brittany and Molly. This has been so informative. I know I've learned a lot, and it's so great to know that we have our Good Health Clinic here. You guys do so much great work. So again, as Brittany said, anyone who knows anyone who could benefit from their services, please send them their way. And we'll be looking for that luau in October. If this is now, I guess, did you guys get to have it last year before things shut down? I can't remember.
Did not. Yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to have it. So hoping for this year. All good thoughts.
Surely by the fall, right? And I feel like I've been saying that now for a long time. Surely by.
Maybe.
But
I think your poster said, I think our poster said 2020, not 2021.
I think, yeah, I think I saw that edit afterward as well. Okay. It's 2021.
Okay.
Not 2020. We're done with 2020.
No, goodbye 2020. Shoot, no more.
All right, everyone. Well, again, thank you all so much. I am going to share this thing real quick. As we do with all of our meetings, we end our meetings by reading the collect. We have found, unfortunately, it's tough for us all to try to speak aloud together on a Zoom meeting. It tends to fall apart fairly quickly. So I am going to read it. If everyone would read along with me on mute at home. It's BPW collect. Keep us, O God, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought, in word, in deed. Let us be done with fault finding and leave off self-seeking. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face without self-pity and without prejudice. May we not be hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us to grow calm, serene, gentle. Teach us